Have you ever watched someone with less experience receive the opportunity you were hoping for? It happens more often than you think, not because they are more qualified, but because they are more visible. The most influential leaders know that excellence is only part of the equation. If people cannot clearly see your value, they cannot confidently recommend you for greater opportunities. In this episode, I explain why accomplished leaders are often overlooked despite their experience, and how building a clear, authentic personal brand helps you faithfully communicate your value, steward your influence, and be prepared when God opens the next door. Stay with us.
Do you want to fully step into your calling and live out your God-inspired vision, but lack the right people and resources to help you? Hi, I'm Nicole Pride, personal branding strategist, leadership coach, and Christian. I learned the secret to advancing big leadership goals and attracting new opportunities is through intentionally elevating your personal brand. If you're ready to step into greater impact without losing your peace, then grab a protein bar, your iPad, and let's go. Today, we are starting with something that it may sting a little. If you are a high-performing executive and you feel overlooked, I need you to hear this and hear this clearly. You are not being ignored, although it feels like it. The problem is you are not being translated. So what do I mean by that? Translation is about how you are being interpreted. What you intend to convey is missing the mark with the audiences that matter to you. So you think you're being ignored. However, I challenge that perspective. I think people are seeing your message, and quite frankly, you're being rejected. People are passing you over based on what you're putting out. Ouch. I know. But hear this. But you need to understand the difference. When you know better, you do better. So there's an external misread about who you are. When executives say, I need more exposure, what they often mean is, I should be further along in visibility than I am. I should be noticed by now. I should be featured in that article or on that stage. But exposure is not the problem. Translation is the problem. Media producers, conference curators, and industry gatekeepers are not sitting around asking, who is the most accomplished person? No, they are asking, who clearly serves my audience? Who articulates value in a way that lands? Who will elevate this platform, this channel? So if your message does not immediately connect your expertise to their audience's needs, you get passed over. Not because you're unqualified, because you are unclear. And this is where we have to get uncomfortable, because most of the time the issue is not about access. It's about articulation. Being unclear is costing you. And so this is what being unclear actually looks like. So if your message is unclear, your pitch feels flat. And what does that mean? It sounds like everyone else. It lists responsibilities instead of impact. It describes what you do, but not why it matters. Your bio reads generic. It includes titles, years of experience, maybe some awards, but it does not communicate distinct authority or perspective. Your website headlines, they don't hook. It is safe. It is broad. It could belong to 10 other executives in your industry. Your email outreach sounds like everybody else. It asks for time instead of presenting value. You become invisible in plain sight. You have the resume, you have the accolades, you have the results, but your positioning does not signal authority. And that's what you have at this level, and that's what you need to be conveying. And now let's even talk about something even more subtle. Authority signals and junior tactics, right? CEOs with an ineffective brand often default to junior tactics, and it is my pet peeve, and it should be yours. You're posting selfies with influencers to signal importance. You're posting event attendance without the thought leadership attached. You're sharing your proximity instead of perspective. You think it's great that you are showing up and you're showing that you are in the room, but it just highlights the fact that you are not leading the room. When what should be a mutual exchange is framed as validation, and it signals, quite frankly, insecurity. When event participation is not tied to insight, it signals just noise. You can be highly accomplished and still visually communicate amateur. So if your visuals, your tone, your positioning do not match the caliber of your leadership, gatekeepers notice this. They do not say it out loud, they just simply move on, and you think you're being ignored. So this is not about shaming you, and certainly I don't want you to feel deflated. This is about getting your brand on track to match your true level of leadership. So let's get to the root issue. The strength of your brand is based on your message. Everything branches from the message, and I know it does not sound sexy at all, but let me say it again. Everything, and I mean everything, branches from the message. If the message is wrong, your visuals will be wrong. If the message is wrong, your pitch will not resonate. If the message is wrong, your thought leadership will sound like commentary instead of conviction. And when your positioning is tone deaf, you're flagged as a non-contender, not maliciously, but systematically. So, what is the shift that needs to happen for you? This is your wake-up call. If you desire a brand that matches your excellence, if you desire recognition that feels appropriate and not inflated, it begins with a crystal clear message, one that articulates what you do, who you do it for, why it matters, what is distinct about your perspective, not a clever tagline. We're not trying to be cute, not more content, but clarity. When the message is clear, your pitch sharpens, your bio strengthens, your visuals align, your thought leadership deepens, and gatekeepers understand you. And when they understand you, they invite you. So you are not being ignored. You are not being overlooked because you lack value. You are, however, being passed over because your authority is not translating clearly. So fix the translation and everything changes. Let's chat next week. If this episode resonated, share it with a leader who needs to hear it. And if you value conversations like this, follow the show and leave a rating or review. It helps more women CEOs who expect to be taken seriously find this podcast. If you're ready to build a personal brand that matches the level of your leadership, then let's work together. Visit NicolePride.com to learn how we can partner. Hey, ambitious leader, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If so, would you take 30 seconds and share with another leader who you want to encourage? Also, please leave a quick review for the show on Apple Podcasts. I just get so energized to know this podcast is helping you. Okay, I'm going to take one step today to let my leadership shine. What about you? God willing, meet you back next week for another episode.